What's going on, guys? So we're taking a look today at Ishiyama the Immovable, the new Fusion champion coming up, who we're going to compare against some other HP-based snookers, see how he does, and then try him out some other areas so you can decide if it's worth going for or just worth skipping. I ain't got a ton of confidence in him. He has 3 flaming balls that looks like he smacked himself in the face with, unfortunately, so I don't know. Let's come in here and see how he actually performs. We have 3 other HP-based snookers. It's going to be Frolny, Taras, and Samson. Now, we have a +1 on Frolny, a +4 on Samson, different blessings, but they're not going to change the damage actually being dealt. To make sure that's the case, let's go ahead and switch Samson over to Lightning Cage, just so everything's uniform and consistent across the board. So there we go. It's just extra speed on the 6-star version, so it's not a big deal. So up first is going to be Frolny. We're going to do 3 tests, the A1, the A2, and the A3 of each champion, all on Venus, just for consistency's sake. So 64,000 damage from Frolny's A1. We don't have any ignore defense effects on anything. All their masteries are just equalized, so no masters on anybody. They're all clear except for Ghostborn. It doesn't matter though. He can have his masteries done. So 64k from Frolny's A1. Let's go ahead and see what Frolny's A2 does once again on Venus. A2 onto Venus. Boom, boom. 85 plus 86. So we're looking at 171k. It's not too bad, but we don't know what it is compared to everybody else, right? Frolny's just another HP-based snooker. We ain't got a ton of HP-based snookers in the game. Narcisse would have been a good one to test, but I don't have him available. That is his A3, doing 352,000. Now, I can dive into in a little bit more of the differences between each of these champions, but each one of them brings something extra to their kit. Now, Taras obviously has the partner benefits with Marichka. Frolny has some HP scaling stuff, plus some crit damage scaling stuff. A lot of things that's going to make him more powerful as the fight goes on. He can switch to the second form. So just because he may be doing the most or the lowest damage isn't necessarily a sign of, hey, this is the champion you should be using as your HP-based snooker. Each of them are going to bring something unique to them that may be required for the fight. Now, before we look at Taras, Frolny's stats are 101,000 HP, 286 crit damage. It's the most important part there. Taras, let's see, it should be very similar, though Frolny's is actually going to be a bit inflated crit damage because his passive is actually going to boost his crit damage for every 1,000 HP he has. So he has even more crit damage than that. Let's go in for Taras now. Taras, A1 about to happen here. Taras A1 on Venus. Boom, boom. 44,000, 45,000 basically. 45k. Yep. Replay. Taras's A2 is a big hit. And of course, he counterattacks with Marichka on the same team. 220,000 damage on that A2 skill. I think we probably all expect Taras to be the highest damage dealing champion here. His A3 is going to do more damage based on the amount of buffs he has. So it's going to be skewed very heavily the more buffs he gets. So that's not going to be a great showcase. He's going to be by far the best HP damage dealer. I can already guarantee that. But he also pairs with Marichka and he's Void Affinity. So he honestly is just like a major outlier. Just before we even began this test, everybody should know that. Samson's up next. For Samson, we're going to have, let's see how much HP. We're going to have Taras had like 90-something thousand. So Taras's base HP is actually a little bit lower than Samson. So Taras is sitting at 98,000 HP. But Samson is also +4. So take that in consideration as well. My other Samson does not have blessings on him. So I can't test a baseline one. So he is getting some stats from the blessing, of course, extra 30% crit damage. Like, he is a beefy boy right now. So his damage, you're going to take into consideration that it's not going to be that crazy if he was just baseline. So against the Venus alone, we hit 4. Let's see. Samson's A1, 53k, which is about what Taras was doing, honestly. Decreased defense AoE. We'll go ahead and we could do his buff. Let's actually just do the A2 at no buff, because he's basically already being buffed. So the A2 from him hits for 288,000 damage, which is pretty good. And now say we did the buff, which, like I said, this buff is basically already being applied because he has the +4 empowerment, which is giving him extra crit damage anyways. So 317 there. I'll put a little line, 317k. The A3 is no extra damage, basically. So now let's test out the Fusion champion himself, which actually has the highest base HP of all these champions. Frolny is at 22.3. Samson is at 22.6. Taras is at 22.3. And Ishiyama is at 22.8. So a little bit higher base HP. Nothing significant, but he does have a little bit higher. So he will be pushing close to 100,000 HP, just at no empowerment, 5-star blessing, which should be available after the fusion finishes. And they're all fully booked. Let's see what he does as far as damage. So Ghostborn, A1, see what it does. Boom, boom. Oh, double hit. Okay, cool. So about the same as Taras's A1 ability, which is cool because his skill actually has some interesting counterattack mechanics that we could maybe take advantage of later on. So his A2 is going to do, let's see. Okay. A lot of debuffs out there. A lot of debuffs. Could be good, could be bad. I'm not building him with accuracy. I don't really want to do that. If you're a nuker, you don't necessarily want to stack accuracy on the champion as well. It just takes away from your nuking stats. And then his A3 skill. This is a bit unique. It's a single target attack. Ignores 25% of the target's defense. Will ignore 50% of the target's defense instead if the target is under 2 or more debuffs. So we're going to do this twice. Once against Venus and then another time against somebody else because he's going to be ignoring 50% on this hit. And then next time he's going to be... Actually, no. Well, we'll try it once on Venus for the damage comparison. 104,000 there. But that was ignoring the 50% defense. So we're going to replay this and see. Okay. Against Chogger, he does 79,000 damage there. And then, I guess there's no way. Actually, there maybe is a way to test to see. He did 79,000 damage. Could I get a debuff on him? A debuff that is not going to change the damage I deal. Yes, Stagnite could do that. So Stagnite could place 2 debuffs on everybody. If he's built correctly, this will be great. The buffs won't matter. Good. So basically, I can get decreased attack plus decreased defense over on the Chogger to see what he gets with the decreased defense plus the weaken there, or the decreased defense plus the attack, which is not going to change his damage other than the extra defense ignore. So you can see here 97,000. Okay, so 97k with 50% ignore, which is pretty cool. Now, obviously, that damage number is not going to be super close to Venus because the defense numbers they have baseline is going to be different. Let's take a look at his damage. One thing to keep in mind is he is Spirit Affinity. So against Magic Affinity champions like Nice, Siegfried, and things like that, he is going to be weak. Though I don't expect him to be used very high in Arena anyway, so you probably won't be running into those champions extremely often, hopefully. Now against champions like Galathier, UDK, lower level Force Affinity champions, Rector Drath possibly, things like that, he can do very well against. So as far as the damage being dealt, Frolny versus Ishiyama did more. Ishiyama did more than Samson. Samson was +4, so his damage is definitely cutting out Samson for sure. Taras blew everybody out of the water, basically. Though Taras's A3 is his AoE skill, and Ishiyama's A2 is his AoE skill. So it wasn't too far behind Taras. But then again, to be fair, I guess like 25% behind it. But to be fair, Taras does scale more with buffs, so it's going to get way higher. It's like half of Taras's A2 with Ishiyama's A3 skill against the Venus, even less against the Chogger. And then Samson's single target A1. So really the A1 of Ishiyama is actually really good. The A1 hits hard, which is a great thing to see because of how it works with his passive skill. Frolny is going to beat him out as well. 353,000 with the AoE skill. And not significantly higher, especially considering that's a +1 Frolny as well. So his A2 definitely hits harder. It's a double hitting big skill. So while Frolny is doing more, it's really not that significant. Plus Frolny's going to have other benefits. I'm not saying that this champion is better than Frolny by no means, but the raw damage numbers are not that far apart. Plus, for the blessings, mythical champions get a bit more for their stuff, I believe, right? So we get +7 there, and then for him, we get a, maybe not. So for, 38, he gets an extra chunk just from that. So it gets more HP, more crit damage, more, well, that's all that really matters from HP and crit damage. That's all that matters. So he does get boosted in that way. Plus, he is getting even more crit damage from here. So he is going to be a harder hitting HP champion. But as far as HP damage dealer, Ishiyama doesn't seem to be too bad, to be honest. Now, where we get into the more nuanced areas is, okay, just because he's not that bad, are you actually going to use him? Well, with this build, he's going to be 117,000 HP, 322% crit damage, 244 speed, not building him for accuracy because, to be honest, his debuffs that he brings are just not that good. He has Fear, decreased crit damage, and decreased crit rate. Decreased crit rate and decreased crit damage are very, very not used debuffs, basically. There's some trials in Chimera for Fear, but Lydia is just far better than him at that. It's an AoE hit, which is really just polymorph magnet for him, it seems. These can't be resisted by enemies who are already under 2 or more debuffs, which, if you're running a team with debuffs, maybe this is awesome for you, but if you're not, it's not going to be that big of a deal. Now, if you're running him alongside of Fabian, this could be awesome because Fabian, whenever he has an enemy take a turn while under Fear, he's going to place a True Fear, right? Whenever an enemy is revived, okay, no, let's see. Activates this skill whenever an enemy under Fear or True Fear successfully uses a skill. So something like that could be really good with him. Now, if you look at his A1 skill, this is kind of interesting. Since we already know this hits pretty hard, each hit transfers a random debuff, but if this champion is under any debuffs when attacked, counterattacks with this skill. So if you're going against a team, placing a block actives on him, he can't use his A2 or his A3, but his A1 hits decent, so that's going to be counterattacking with his skill anytime he's hit while under a debuff, which is pretty nice, especially if you add in, okay, we have some masteries that are also going to give him a chance to counterattack. Let's go ahead and fill these out a little bit. We'll get this one and this one and this one and this one. Just typical nuker masteries. Pick up Helm Smasher as well. We'll go down this row straight. Not going to be the most optimal for Arena necessarily, but we'll give him a little bit of a test. An honest effort in Arena. See how he does. You know what? I'll even throw on a relic for him. We'll throw on this Malefic Talon. It's not going to be the greatest thing. Actually, we could throw on this. Extra HP and crit damage, but we're just throwing Talon. Everybody probably has a Talon, eventually going to have one. Cat's Gaze is not great for him because it only works on enemies with higher max HP, and he should have the highest max HP most of the time, right? 117,000. His HP scales up very well, and I also have some decent pieces, but let's go ahead and see. Do we have any good gemstones, triangle ones? 8% chance to gain extra turn. Yeah, let's actually put that on there. Why not, right? No. I want to give him a decent... Oh, crap. I can't take it off. Well, I guess we're stuck with that. I guess we're stuck with that, guys. Oh, I could take the whole thing off of him, maybe. No, I can't. I ain't got no burnt chicken nuggets to use, actually. All right, so Classic Arena. What we're going to do here is we're going to run Airbeus. Let's go ahead and try this. Airbeus plus Fabian. Because Fabian will do the fear stuff, which would be pretty cool. Airbeus will boost his accuracy. Ishiyama. There we go. Here he is. So you have these two, the lockouts. They should be built. I'm hoping they're built. 364, 453. That's fine. And then who do I want to use as the next champion here? We could use a champion who places some debuffs. That could be pretty cool. Like a Lydia or something. But we're going to get polymorphed in that case. Let's just try this. Just these 3 champions first time. See what happens. See how he does. Can he actually knock down a team being the only damage dealer? Okay, they're faster than me, unfortunately. We do cut in. We do get to strip a lot of the stuff. We did not get that strip, which is fantastic. Go ahead and use his A2 skill. Dang. Whose team is this? His champions are built at least decently. And remember, every time he places a debuff, he's actually going to scale his max HP up. So his passive, whenever a champion resists a debuff placed by this champion, the next debuff placed cannot be resisted. Also, each debuff placed by this champion increases their max HP by 3%. So even more reason I would not place him in accuracy is because just because you miss the first ones, you're going to land the next set of them anyways. It can't be resisted. An extra 30% max HP is going to be putting him at 130,000 plus max HP, which is pretty massive. We're going to double hit on the Marius. No, we're going to hit even harder. We get block damage as well. With Lightning Cage, keeping that secured is very nice. Come around and maybe eventually get an A2. Okay, counterattack, because we have those debuffs on me. They're both weak hits, unfortunately, it seems. Let's see if we can go and get this Siffy killed. Boom, boom. Okay, 20,000 damage. Not too bad. We still have the block damage. Is that for 2 turns? I guess it was, wasn't it? Those debuffs counterattacking. Good affinity versus Fabian. Okay, not too bad. Counterattack here, or just a regular attack. Boom, 28,000. Okay, so just because the debuff was placed, it has to be the next time for it actually to work. And it's sending those debuffs back as well, which is very nice because that means things like block actives, he counterattacks. It's going to be hard to keep that on him. This is a good team as well. It's a good player. Strong players account. Okay, I'm pleasantly surprised. Let's go against Hell Hades' team. His damage isn't too bad. Granted, the gear that I have on him is also very solid. So that could be a difference for your account. Okay. We're going to get a counterattack on Lazarius. It's going to be weak hits, though, because we have, you know, Spirit Affinity versus a Magic champion. We'll try to block actors on some champions, okay? A2, how much can we do? Okay. We actually one-shot them all, basically. I'm actually surprised. I'm impressed by the damage. It's better than I expected. 20,000 damage. We're just not doing a ton. We do send that HP burn back to him, though, which is very good. He switches forms. Boom. But doesn't do 2 hits. Only does 1. We don't quite kill him, unfortunately. But we will get a block damage eventually. Maybe. Possibly. I don't know. Will we? Just because max HP drop there. Hopefully Sify doesn't res. Okay, good. So he's surviving the hits very well. Like, even though he is Spirit Affinity and weak to magic, he's surviving them very well. Can I kill the Sify with one shot? I kind of doubt it. I could kill Lazarius, but let's see if we can kill this. Dang, okay. 71,000 damage. It's not bad by no means. Okay, everybody's come back to life, unfortunately. They're all back. The Warlord's still locked out, thank goodness. But now we're getting some stuff going off. Pain Link does not get reflected, which is good to know. I'll try to strip them of everything and see if I can't squeeze a turn in here. Okay, locked out. Boom. Double hits. We're just sending damage back to myself, though, aren't I? Because Pain Link, how it works. Either way, we're going to end up dying here, I believe, and just GG's, basically. He's surviving very well, though. I need that that healing mastery that gives him some health whenever I deal damage. That would definitely help him out. Either way, he did do good damage. He's a champion you'd probably want to run an extra damage dealer with, which is kind of how the meta's going anyways. You typically have 2 damage dealers in most areas of the arena, it seems like. Let's go against Nub's team. Lazarius plus Ishiyama. You know what? I can basically do a mirror team here. Let's do this Lazarius. We'll throw in my Lazarius versus his. My Lazarius is not really built very well, to be honest, but this could be an okay setup here. Another Stone Skin champion. Going fast option. Now, to be honest, you'll probably use him more often in like a go second team because he's HP-based champion. It's typically a little bit better because in this type of team, increase attack, might as well bring a attack-based nuker, right? Let's go ahead and see what his A2 does here. Send some damage over there. Put some good numbers on him. Now, Fabian, remember, if they take a turn with a fear, Fabian's saying, I ain't having that. He's going to go in place Petrification, which is pretty awesome. So we'll go ahead and swap forms with Lazarius and just let him do his thing. And then Ishiyama does the A3. 76,000 damage plus the 2... Is it 2 turns of block damage? Let me go check that out real quick. Block damage for 2 turns, yeah. Let's go against Nub's team one more time. But this time, let's go with Fabian in a Stone Skin set, which I had recently done on the live servers. But it doesn't save your stuff on when it switches over to the test server, I don't think, actually. Let me see. Can't do that, no. So we're just going to throw him in a Stone Skin build, a super simple one. Literally just going to go Stone Skin, Necklace, and it's just going to swap the Supersonic for Stone Skin. Now this could be sketchy because Nubs' team is going to do a lot of damage. Does he have a Fabian as well? If he does, he's going to lock me out, and that's kind of pointless. So we don't want to run against that. If I can find a team that makes more sense, I'll do it. That'd be fine. Yeah, no Fabian. No, can't really go against lockout teams with a go second team very easily. Unless you have like a Crixia, which I actually do. So let's try that. We'll go him and Stone Skin in the back. We'll go Crixia. Where is she at? Crixia, there she is. Crixia. Have to go like a Marichka. And then who else we want to use here? We could use a Queen of Hearts. But of course, you want to have mostly Stone Skin champions. We still have the speed boost, the temporal chains, all that kind of good stuff is still here. Hopefully they don't strip me. They might. We have Lightning Cage to hopefully protect me from being stripped. We can either strip them all or do an ally attack. Let's do an ally attack on this Lazarius. This could be pretty good. Or we could just strip them all. Have a chance of being feared. But against Sify, it's a little bit less likely they're going to be feared. Can Ishiyama kill him? No, he can't. So, something I forgot about. He Doesn't do tons of damage from that A1 skill. We have 3 supports alongside him as well, so it's not going to be the easiest either. We'll just buff everybody up. So Queen of Hearts is going to be a little bit stronger. Okay, his A2 did some damage. Petrification, very nice. Send my A2 back to him. We place no debuffs, so we don't get our stuff, our HP boosted up because they have block debuffs on them. Maybe we try this one more time with a little bit of a different setup. Okay, so now we can strip everything. We can block revive on the Fabian as well. Let's go ahead and send somebody over there who's going to kill him. Just kidding, we can't do that. All right. Didn't die, that's pretty nice. It's always a little bit of a good achievement, right? Okay. Doesn't get a turn, but he does get block revived. We're definitely going to kill him. Get the block damage on me as well. We'll go ahead and send over at the Siphi. Get a heal going. Some turn meter reduction because of the Crixia. Very good stuff. Switch forms. We'll go do the lockout on them. Maybe slow them down a little bit. Try to get this dude down. Let's see what he does with just his A1. I mean, if it's not weak hitting, it's actually pretty good damage, right? 40,000, it's decent damage. He has a block damage, so we're safe right now. 20, 40, not quite, but close, right? See what he does against another HP-based champion. 26, 36. Pretty good, I'd say, actually. We have block damage sitting on me as well. And it's not super hard to get that to keep going. Just this A3 skill to kill somebody. He has the multipliers to make it make sense. Like, he can get a kill from that A3 skill. Merchka's dead. Let's reduce her turn meter a little bit, maybe. Yeah, there we go. This should be able to kill her this time, right? Nice. And then kill him. Good. So 80,000. All right, so just after a little bit of live arena, or not live arena, against some arena testing, I don't think he's actually that bad. He does pretty good damage. Granted, he is in some good teams, but his damage seems to be pretty decent. Let's go look at how he does in Hydra real quick. I set a team up for him. We'll do Nightmare Hydra just for the sake of seeing how it does here. We're going to go ahead and give this dude a 6-star blessing. We're going to go in here and give him Nature's Wrath instead of Lightning Cage, which is doing nothing in Hydra. Nature's Wrath is going to do a lot in Hydra. Let's see what happens here. Because he places those debuffs. We actually... Oh, dang. If I could switch these, it'd be nice, but I can't. I would put Arethi Coronet on him, which would boost his damage even more. So let's see what he does now. We need a little bit of time to scale this stuff up. But once we do, he may get rolling. We may see like a 3 million plus damage hit from that A3 skill. Which, for a champion who is going to be in a team that he doesn't need increased attack or increased defense, it's not that bad. I mean, you're probably going to bring those anyways, so... But he's going to do very good at surviving. So he's going to be a DPS spot that's going to survive no problem. He's going to place decreased crit damage and decrease crit rate on the Hydra heads, which maybe could help you out. I don't really know if I like those debuffs too much. But as long as you're not bringing like a ton of debuffs already, then you're not going to cap out the bar, and you'll be okay with those. As far as things like Hex and Provoke sets, you could maybe do that for him. I wouldn't. Personally, he only has one AoE skill. There's better options for that. 300,000 on that A1 skill. I really just want to see, once they get decapitated, what's he doing? I want to see, honestly, is he going to be able to crack, let's say 3 million. Can he crack 3 million damage on that A3? 658 right there. I think that was the A3, right? Garrow hit him 120, 1.2 million, I think. 357, 600,000 on the A1. Which is on Nightmare as well, by the way. All right, what's he got? He's got this the A3 going yet? A2. Almost 1 million damage from that A2 ability alone on the Head of Torment. Should have A3 going here, assuming Garrow doesn't just kill him. A lot of debuffs. Oh, it comes back. Okay. Well, we got a 698 on the Head of Wrath, the decapitated Head of Wrath. Let's try to keep that alive a little bit longer so we can see him get back around to do that on something else here soon. Here we go. A3, head on the far left. Let's see what we get. 2 million damage. That's pretty good. That is pretty daggone solid. Not against that damage whatsoever. So 2 million damage on the A3. 130,000 HP. He has good crit damage currently. Could definitely be scaled. Well, could be scaled higher. And for Hydra, you could actually put him in a better build. He is in Stone Skin plus Savage still. So you could put him in like Merciless or something like that and get him to do even more damage. We'll go ahead and end this battle. We don't need to see any more over here, I don't think. But if you put him in that, he could do really, really solid damage, I believe. So against the Garrel, he is doing much less. Lazarius isn't damaging. He's doing half of Garrel's damage, but Garrel's also built quite well. She is built 5,280. Okay, so actually not. I'd say Ishiyama's built better than Garrel. There's better pieces here. But a Merciless build with similar stats could be crazy for him. Even more defense ignore. So as far as a champion for a fusion, his kit originally read to be not that great. But after doing a little bit of testing here, I honestly don't think he's that bad. I think that if you don't have many HP-based nukers, this dude could be very solid for you. I think Ghost Second teams, he can be very powerful. If you're struggling in 3v3, having him in a Ghost Second version could do very well for you. But you do see him in pretty good gear right now. Let me see if I can... where is he? Well, I don't really want to drop his gear because the thing is, like, with this gear, he's doing good, yes. The players I'm going against also have pretty good gear. So if I drop mine, then it's just putting me at a disadvantage, basically. We can go against Bronco's team here with the same Ghost Second team. Sulfurion's just going to proc Marichka anyway, so... Or maybe just don't get a turn, actually. So we'll just send him in. Boom, boom. Kills Sulfurion. Sweet. Does he kill Teox? He should. Boom. Drops Teox as well. Can we fear him? Yeah, we sure can. We kill everybody. Maybe his champ. Okay, his champs are definitely built. We'll swap forms with her. Let's go ahead and do that cleanse. There we go. And maybe we get another ally attack from him. Nope, not quite. So we'll hit Pythion. He's strong affinity versus Pythion. So if you are having a hard time with Pythion, boom. That was 78k just from that single hit. It's quite a bit. 200,000 from that A3. Dang. I mean, plus that block damage. That block damage is very nice. This could be a Duchess, but I don't got a Duchess in Stone Skin, so it can't really be a Duchess. Let's put her in there, though. Just so it's like the most, I guess, accessible type team we have so far today. So, probably not going to strip the Stone Skin. Oh, we do, actually. Lock him out. Petrified. And then we just go ally attack on the Freya because she's going to be doing some stop them from being killed thing. He just drops the Freya, the A2, sends some bombs over at him. I mean, his A2 is hitting quite hard, but Polymorph is your enemy. Polymorph is definitely your enemy. But there you go, guys. That's some more showcasing for the new Fusion champion. Personally, I think he's a champion who we may actually want to go for if you don't have any good HP-based nukers. If you do have some good HP-based nukers, you may not have any use for him. I don't see him being used a lot in like Chimera. If we look through the trials, I think he answers one of them basically. We can't even do no hits here, unfortunately. He does the fear one, kind of, but Lydia is just so much better at that. And then decreased crit rate and crit damage. It may be on one, but I'm actually not sure if it even is. Either way, guys, thank y'all very much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed that video, and let me know what you think about the new Fusion champion. I'll catch you all in the next one.